Hello, I'm Adam and welcome to my garage. In today's episode we're going to be taking a look at my Suzuki vs750 intruder, which I bought about 20 years ago and I rebuilt it about a year and a half ago. The thing is, since rebuilding it I've found that the engine is burning oil, so I need to get to the bottom of it. The first thing to do is a compression test. So off with the seat and tank to give me easy access to unplug the coils and fuel pump. After that I've just got to remove the spark plugs from both cylinders and install a compression tester on the front cylinder to start with. Okay, so now I've got my compression tester installed. We're just going to check compression on the front cylinder. The reading should be between 185 to 225, I think it's ish, something like that. So throttle open, let's see what we get. My reading is 150 on the front cylinder, which is a bit low. Let's try the rear one. Right, now time for the rear one. Throttle fully open. That is a bit better, reading 160 maybe, yeah, 160 psi. Well, after doing a compression test on both cylinders, they are both running a bit low, but for a 38-year-old bike it's not bad really. But what I am going to do is do a top end rebuild on the engine, just to try get them within spec. So let's crack on. The first thing to do is to take the battery off. So what we need to do is take the exhaust off. It just gives me easier access because the battery is right there under the swing arm. And then I can put that on trickle charge. Now I'm just taking the rear of the exhaust off on both sides. This exposes the bolts for the battery box. The easiest way to get the battery terminals is to pivot the battery box. To do this, I loosen all bolts, 2 on each side, then take the top ones out. This allows the battery box to pivot, exposing the terminal bolts. Once I've unbolted the battery, there is a trapdoor at the bottom of the box with a bolt on each side, and then I can drop the battery out and put it on trickle charge. Then I carry on taking the rest of the exhaust off on both sides and bung the exhaust ports to stop any condensation from getting into the cylinders. So now that that's all done, I can move on and get the radiator off. So I need to remove the coolant which runs through the frame on this bike, and then I can remove the carburetors from the engine, and not far off, ready to get the engine out then. So to take the cover off, it's just a couple of 10mm bolts. whilst I'm taking the radiator cover off, which is just 4 10mm bolts, if I could ask you all kindly to like and subscribe to my channel. This would help me immensely to create future content on future projects. Thank you. Now if I bring you around here, the coolant bolt, drain bolt, let me see if I can put a light on this. It's right there, and it looks like it was leaking as well. So now I've just undone the radiator cap and the water's draining, the coolant. So I'll let that set for a bit, get all the coolant out, then I can take the radiator off. To take the radiator off, we've just got a couple of bolts and a couple of hose clamps. So the bolt right here runs right through the frame, right to the other side, and then there's a bolt underneath there on a bracket, and then there's just a couple of hose clamps. So let's get them off. And just like that, the radiator's out. The only thing to be aware of is you've got two plugs there that plug into your thermostat, so they just need unplugging. So now we're moving on to taking the carburetors off. So there's just 3 screws dotted around the air filter on the front, and the same on the back. Just hidden away with a spaghetti of wiring, but we need to get these off so I can release the carbs off the manifold. On this bike there is 2 carburetors, which makes it a bit of a nightmare to tune, but it is what it is. The front air filter is easy to access and remove. The rear takes a bit more time with the wiring, and one of the screws is under the rubber boot. Then finally the air filters are off. So now the air boxes are off, I just need to do the engine side now, which is just that bolt there, and there's another clamp under there. The last job to do for now is just to take this cover off, which holds the clutch slave cylinder behind. So there's our clutch slave cylinder. Let's get it off. So this, I don't want the piston to pop out, so what we're going to do is cable tie it up. So that's it for today. In the next one I'll be taking the engine out of the frame, taking the cylinders off the engine for further inspection. Please like and subscribe for any future uploads, and I shall see you in the next one.